Hello and welcome to Platinum Review, a series where we talk about some amazing games, break down the roadmap to Platinum Trophy, and I share with you my opinion whenever you should or should not add another Platinum Trophy to your collection. Now without further ado, let's dive right in.
Do I need to remind you what is out there?
What are you so afraid of?
You're treading on some mighty thin ice here.
Where is she?
You make every shot count.
After all we've been through. Everything that I've done. It can't be for nothing.
I have to start talking about this game from a personal perspective, so I'm just gonna say it. The Last of Us is my favorite game of all time. When it first came out, I didn't even own a PlayStation console, so I couldn't really play it. So back then I actually opted to watch PewDiePie's Let's Play series, which by the way is how I found out about this game in the first place. The thing is, I felt so connected to the story and characters, it wasn't enough for me to just watch someone else play it. I had to experience it for myself, even though I already knew how the story unfolds. I apparently was so passionate about it that my girlfriend at the time actually got me a PS3 for my birthday in late 2013, which was my first ever console. And of course, the first game I played on it was The Last of Us. Before, even though I was gaming here and there, I saw video games as more of a shut your brain off and have fun kind of activity. So this one literally changed my perception of video games as the whole medium, and I will be forever thankful to Naughty Dog for that. In the gameplay department, the game still holds despite its age. The combat is brutal and you actually have to assess your approach to each encounter. Running and gunning is not a viable option most of the time, unless of course you play on easy, which by the way you really shouldn't. From a technical perspective, if you play it on PS4, you will get a full 1080p 60fps smooth experience. I played it on PS5 as well, but I honestly didn't notice any difference. By the way, the latest patch actually fixed loading times on both consoles, and now they're almost gone, even on PS4, so yes, it is a great experience overall. Obviously the game is not perfect, nothing is. It has some issues with AI that can be a bit weird at times. Also, when you're doing stealth, your partner can just run in full view of the enemies and they won't care. Of course it's a good thing, and I can imagine it was done to save you a lot of frustration, so I'm fully on board with that decision. It just can't be immersion breaking, that's all. The game has an online multiplayer mode and it's really fun, but you will need to spend a lot of time there, and in 2021 it's not really populated. Sure, you can still find matches, but it really depends on day of the week and time, so you might want to find a group to play it with. I will give you a detailed explanation on the multiplayer mode and on how to boost it later in the video, so stay tuned. Overall, if you haven't played The Last of Us yet, do yourself a favor and go ahead and play it, because you are missing out on one of the best, if not the best stories in the whole video game industry. After getting into trophy hunting during the pandemic, I knew if there's any game I have to get a Platinum Trophy in, it's gonna be this one. You will have to do a first playthrough on any difficulty you want, while also finding all the collectibles. I would probably recommend you to play on hard difficulty for the first time though. On hard you will have to be more careful and calculated than on normal, so the game will feel much more like a survival horror game and not action adventure, and this is much better in my opinion. Also on hard you still have listening mode, a useful tool that allows Joel to hear through walls to pinpoint the location of enemies, which will make this playthrough a lot easier than the next one. As for collectibles, you will need to find all the documents, comics, Firefly pendants, training manuals, shift doors, optional conversations, and listen to all Ellie's jokes. The collectibles count is 196 in total. At least you can keep track of them through the chapter select menu that will tell you what you are missing in each chapter. Now trust me, I know what it sounds like, but it's really not that bad. The only type of collectible that I found boring was the Firefly pendants, and there are just 30 of them. Documents are great to read because of the backstory and world building they provide. Comic books give you additional dialogue, training manuals unlock additional upgrades, shift doors provide you with more resources you will need throughout your journey, and optional conversations and jokes are actually my favorite collectibles in the game because they flesh out the characters even more. In addition, you will have to keep an eye out for supplements and parts. Supplements are basically pills that are used to upgrade abilities, and they are found throughout the game. There is not enough of them to fully upgrade your abilities in one playthrough, but the next stage is New Game Plus anyway, and abilities do carry over. just make sure to scavenge as much as you can. After getting enough of them and fully upgrading your abilities, you will unlock a trophy for it. As for parts, basically the same deal as with pills, but they're used to upgrade your weapons on crafting tables you will find, just pay attention to them. The next stage will be to finish a New Game Plus on Survivor or Grounded difficulty. Originally, you are not supposed to be able to play a New Game Plus on a difficulty you haven't finished the game on previously, but there is a workaround for that. After starting a New Game Plus on any difficulty and finishing the prologue, you can quit and chapter select the intro again, but this time around just pick either Survivor or Grounded. After completing the New Game Plus, you will unlock all difficulty related trophies. Now let's talk about Survivor and Grounded modes. They are challenging but fair in my opinion, with Grounded being the harder one, but it's not needed for a platinum trophy. On either of them you don't have listening mode to help you out, and on Grounded you don't have a HUD altogether. Also the enemies deal more damage to you, twice the regular amount on Survivor and 3 times as much on Grounded. You should focus on stealth and melee combat. Bricks and bottles will become your best friend because they allow you to stun the enemy and finish them quickly with melee, and they are also easily found everywhere. I have almost a full series of my Grounded mode playthrough on my channel where I unsuccessfully attempted to finish the game without taking damage and using the minimum amount of ammo, so if you are struggling, you are more than welcome to check it out. By the way, if you made it this far, consider supporting the channel by pressing the like and subscribe buttons. Also, feel free to let me know what you think and share your own experience with this game. Anyway, back to the video. The last step should be the multiplayer, and it's the reason it took me a while to actually start working on a platinum trophy. The multiplayer has its own little minigame, where you have a camp of survivors and you have to get resources for them by killing players, winning matches and scavenging. If you don't have enough resources, they will get sick and eventually die. Your goal is to keep at least one of them alive for 12 weeks. Twice. Once as a firefly and once as a hunter. Therefore, it's called factions. Each match is 1 day, so you have to finish 168 matches. Not an easy or quick task by any means. Twice a week you will get a mission opportunity, and by completing it you will either gain population or prevent losing it, and you have 3 matches to complete the mission you picked. You can select your missions freely from the available list, but you can't really choose the same one over and over again, since with each completion the requirement will get higher for the next time. Throughout the 12 weeks journey there will be 5 times when if you fail the mission you chose, you will lose all your population and it will reset your progress, so you will have to start over. Definitely save the easiest missions for those ones. By the way, if you messed up and you see that you won't be able to finish the mission, you can quit in the middle of the match by closing the game entirely, and it won't count against you. That way you will be able to try again in a different match. There are methods of match skipping by joining the game and immediately quitting to the main menu, but honestly it can be risky and not that fun for people you get matched with, so I didn't do it, but if you know how to do it safely, go ahead. What I did do instead is join a boosting session on PSN profiles and played with a great group of guys, and some of them even became my friends. If you have 8 people in a session, you can split into 2 parties of 4. Just make sure that the party leaders are from the same region and start searching for a game in the same time. Quickest game mode is interrogation. After you get matched with each other, start trading wins as quickly as possible, while also letting the players that have 100% risk missions get them done. You should skip all the other ones because they don't matter. By winning every other game, you will have more than enough parts to keep your population alive, even if you ignore everything else. By the way, unless you quit, you will play against the same party over and over again, so even if it takes a while to get matched, you will only need to do it once. Important tip though. Make sure to move constantly when you in-game, otherwise you will be kicked for inactivity and you can't join back, so both parties will have to quit and do the whole process again for you to be able to join, so be careful. By the way, if you are already boosting, you might as well get the DLC trophies out of the way. They require you to down 5 players on each one of the DLC maps in one match, and since you will probably play on every map anyway, you won't go too much out of your way. There are a couple more miscellaneous trophies that require you to win a match of each type once and play each game mode on one of the DLC maps, but this really shouldn't be a problem, just play until you get it. I got all the miscellaneous multiplayer trophies from the main game and the DLCs within a couple of hours by just playing normally. Keep in mind though, depending on who you're playing with, it could be either a fun experience to meet new people like I had or a grindy one. Regardless, it will take you around 20 to 30 hours to finish. So, should you go for a platinum trophy in this game? Yes and no. You should go for 100% completion of the single player part in my opinion, because the game deserves it and you are rewarded for doing so. And yes, the game is challenging on survival difficulty, but if you don't rush in and take your time, you will get through it, even if it takes a few tries. For the multiplayer it depends. If you don't mind going an extra mile, then by all means, go for it. Like I said, it can be an enjoyable experience, but it can also be boring and time consuming. My advice is to try it out and decide for yourself if you are willing to sink more than 20 hours into it. If you enjoyed this video or found it useful, press the like button since it really helps the channel, subscribe for more gaming and trophy hunting content, and visit my website platreviews.com if you want to get some sneak peeks at what projects I'm working on next. Anyway, as always, thank you for watching and have a good one.